Ladies, welcome back to the podcast. You are joining me on another solo episode where we explore the key principles that drive personal and professional growth. I'm your host, Ashleigh, and today we're diving into the foundational concept that is crucial for achieving any success and fulfillment in any area of our life: personal responsibility and accountability. These two principles are not only buzzwords, but they also are the bedrock of to having a successful and empowered life. Personal responsibility means taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and their outcomes, while accountability involves being answerable for those actions, whether to yourself, others, or a set of standards. In this episode, we'll discuss why embracing personal responsibility and accountability is a must, how it can transform your life, and provide practical tips on how to cultivate these essential traits. So if you're ready to take control of your destiny and start living a more empowered life, then let's get started. Okay, ladies, so let's talk about what taking personal responsibility truly means. Taking personal responsibility means taking ownership of your actions, your decisions, and their consequences, whether that be a positive outcome or a negative outcome. It also means acknowledging that you are in control, complete control of your life and the outcomes that you experience. Sometimes things happen that are completely out of our control, but how we respond to them is completely within our control. Our role in accountability involves in being answerable for our actions, whether it's ourselves, others, or the high standard that we may hold ourselves to. It's about being honest about our performance or how we show up in the world, whether that's good or bad, and steps to improve where needed. It's about being able to take a step back, analyze ourselves on an honest, truly honest level, and decide where we are in our life right at this moment is where we want to be. And if it's not, it's accepting that we created this. Yourself created the current life that you're in. There may have been circumstances or things that have happened that weren't in your control, and that's okay. But it's identifying how you can react to those, how you can take control of things that are within your control and or power. So when we look at something like mindset. Mindset is such a pivotal and key component when it comes to taking control of anything. Like when you think of the bare thing that you can take control of, it's one, yourself, but then two, the thing that controls that is your mind. So how can you take better control of your mind in order to get what you want? Actually, let me share this with you. I spent a long time being reactive to situations. And it came from a place of, if I ever felt threatened, if I ever felt unsafe, if I ever felt betrayed on a level, that's when I need to try and protect myself. So I'm going to become as reactive as possible, because in my mind, I was trying to keep myself safe. Now realizing that that's not the best way to move through life. That's not in what I would consider someone who's able to be complete and utter control of themselves. So I had to take utter responsibility for the moments that I was being reactive, operating from a place that I didn't really like, and how I could show up better to change it. And then holding myself accountable in the moments that I might slip backwards, or the moments that I recognized that I didn't react like I normally would have, that I held myself strong and in my power in moments that I could have given it away. Number two is, we need to recognize the importance of taking responsibility and accountability in our life. It's so easy to point the finger. It's so easy to blame outside sources. It's so easy to blame your partner, your sister, your mother, your brother, whoever it is, your cat, the government. It's way too easy to blame somebody else. Because if you were to point the finger back at yourself, you would have to start asking yourself some very hard questions. You'd have to start having an honest conversation with yourself about where in your life are you not willing to take responsibility for? Or where in your life are you not holding yourself accountable for? Where in your life are you not holding your standards? So when you're able to identify both of those in your life, how you might not be showing up, how you might thrive in certain areas, when you do this, you'll build trust and integrity within yourself. Let's not worry about anybody else. Let's talk about how it develops within you. When you can start having honest conversations with yourself, you're building trust and integrity within yourself. Then if we look onto the external, you're also doing the same for others. You're building a sense of trust and integrity with others as well. In a personal or a professional setting, it demonstrates that you have integrity, reliability, and that other people can trust you. I personally live in a place where, or my reality is that trust is so deeply important to me. But it's not just deeply important that I trust somebody. It's deeply important to me that they trust me. So in any possible way, however I can build that trust, that's like a key foundation for me to be able to have with somebody. Second to that is integrity. So when I sat down and had an honest conversation as to how I was showing up, whether it was hitting those standards or whether I was operating from a place that was building trust and integrity with other people, I had to have a hard, honest conversation and say it wasn't, which meant in that moment I decided to make a change and show up better, not just for other people, but also myself. It will empower your growth. It will make you want to grow more. When you're able to, again, have those honest conversations with yourself, it all comes down to how honest you're willing to be. How honest you're able to sit down with yourself and say, this is not the life that I thought I wanted, or this is not the life I think I should have, but really you're the one that controls it. So what are you doing about it? It will help you foster a growth mindset instead of a fixed one. A growth mindset sees all the opportunities in the world and how they can use them for themselves, or how they can use to better them, their lives, and those around them. It means that you're in a constant state of wanting to improve and wanting to learn to keep moving forward. And then, of course, there's overcoming challenges. If you're able to face a challenge head on, rather than blaming other people, rather than making up an excuse, it leads to more effective problem solving and resilience. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how big it is. If you can practice cultivating it's my fault, you'll be far better off. If you're late for work and traffic was hectic, it's not traffic's fault. You just didn't leave early enough. And it's just the little things, right? I didn't get to do X, Y, and Z because of, my partner. No, you made that choice. So take accountability for the fact that you made the decision not to do A, B, and C. You were late for work because you didn't leave early enough. Take the accountability. And when you start on those small little things, when you get to bigger things, whatever they might be, you already know that my favorite line is, everything's my fault. So 5 practical steps that you can take to cultivate better responsibility and accountability is, number 1, set clear goals and expectations. I have an episode on setting goals, so please go and listen to it. But we're talking about setting clear, specific goals for whatever it is, measurable and realistic. You guys know this about me. I love to set big, unrealistic goals, or they seem unrealistic to other people. To me, they're realistic. So set the goal realistic to you, and then clearly define what success looks like to you. Not to your mum, not to your brother, not to your partner, not to anybody else. What does success look like to you? What do you want your life to look like? How do you want to show up in the world? And then establish those benchmarks for the progress. So you've already identified what your expectations is for the goals based on what you want. Number 2 is reflect and self-assess. I like to do this on a daily basis, sometimes a weekly basis, and I do it through journaling. I've also used therapy as a way to do this, to benchmark my progress, because sometimes I don't see it for myself. So regularly evaluate your actions, where you're showing up, where you feel like you're falling short, how you are in your decision-making process, and then reflect on where it went wrong. Reflect on what went right and what went wrong, or what you could improve on, where you could show up better, how you could improve, and be so brutally honest with yourself that you know the change will come. Or if you feel like you're not being as honest with yourself as you can, go to therapy. Find a really solid mentor, coach, or friend group that can help you identify it. Number 3 is take ownership of your mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes, like everybody. And the quicker you can be like, yep, I did that. Yep, I messed up. Yeah, that probably wasn't a good decision. Yeah, I did it for X, Y, and Z, but now looking back on it, probably wasn't the best thing. Just own it and then grow from it. So the next time the same kind of dynamic or situation comes around, you already learnt from your mistake. You already know. Number 4 is seek feedback and hold yourself accountable. That feedback can come from any source, but I like to seek feedback from people who are ahead of me. So while my friendship group might not be the place that I seek feedback for career growth, they might be the group that I seek feedback for on a different thing. Be open to criticism, however it shows up. If you're seeking that feedback, you're asking for some feedback, and that's what helps you grow. I made this mistake very early on, was not seeking feedback. Now it's all I want. Tell me the things that are wrong. Tell me where I can improve. Tell me how I can grow faster, because I want to know, because I want to grow so fast, or I want to accomplish something that requires me to grow. And number 5 is create an accountability system. I love to use Excel spreadsheets for this. I did it maybe like a year ago, where I did the simplest things. Actually, it was 2 years ago, when I was at a point in my life where I was struggling so hard, like with just basic things, like daily tasks. Get up, make your bed, brush your teeth, do your skincare routine, like basic things. So I'd use Excel spreadsheets, and at the end of the day, I would sit down and be like, you did all the tasks. Yes. So then at the end of the week, I could reflect on it and be like, oh yeah, we did an entire month where you did everything right, or you hit all the marks, or maybe 5 out of the 30 days you miss. That's okay. Whatever your accountability system is, maybe it's a person, maybe it's a coach, a mentor, whatever it is that works for you, set it up and make sure you implement it every single day or week, or at the very least every month. I wouldn't go a month, because 30 days is a long time. It doesn't seem like a long time, but it is when you're trying to change something. Seeking feedback from a partner, a coach, a mentor, or even if you can be brutally honest with yourself in a journal, will be the most effective way for you to improve on the things that you want, knowing that those people that you have around you want you to grow just as much as you do. I hope our discussion on personal responsibilities and accountabilities have provided you with valuable insights and actionable steps to incorporate these principles into your life. Remember, taking responsibility for your actions and holding yourself accountable is not just admitting mistakes, but it's also empowering yourself to make positive changes and grow. It's all about building trust, demonstrating integrity, and paving the way for more fulfilling and successful lives. As we wrap up, take a moment to reflect on one area in your life where you can take more responsibility and hold yourself accountable. Maybe it's in your career, your personal relationships, or a personal goal you've been putting off. Whatever it is, commit to making one step today towards embracing these principles. If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe below or leave us a review, or even share it with someone who might benefit from this conversation. Until our next episode, I'm your host, Ashleigh.